Class, we're down to the last topic under cost accounting. So today, we discuss JIT and Backflush costing. Okay. Sir, anong ibig sabihin ng JIT? Okay, JIT stands for just in time, okay? And JIT is an inventory management system. Wherein, yung concept nito class is we only produce as needed. Okay? Nagpo-produce lang tayo or nagmamanufacture tayo ng inventory pag lang kailangan, pag lang may demand. Alright? Now class, i-differentiate natin siya sa traditional inventory system. Okay? Ganito kasi class ginagawa natin sa traditional. Well, we manufacture. Tama? And then, store natin yung inventory sa warehouse. And then, kapag may nag-order na customer, ayan, di-deliver natin. Got it? Yun yung traditional inventory system. Now, sa JIT, we only produce as we need. Pag lang may nag-order na customer, dun tayo magpo-produce. Kaya siya tinawag na just in time. Okay? Now, maraming benefits yung JIT. And one of which is, obviously, it reduces inventory storage cost. Since wala tayong warehouse, or kung may warehouse man, maliit lang yung gagamitin natin, ma-minimize natin yung storage cost, as well as yung obsolescence. Tama? Ma-make sure natin na wala tayong mga inventory na magiging obsolete. Also, since hindi na-stock yung pera natin sa inventory, less opportunity cost for the company. Pwede natin i-invest yung cash natin sa ibang more profitable investments. Okay? Now class, since yung JIT is a simplified inventory management system, kailangan din natin ng simplified accounting system or simplified accounting for JIT. Ang tawag natin doon is Backflush costing. Okay? So basically, yung accounting for JIT is called Backflush costing. Ganun na siya. Now, in Backflush costing class, ang important dito is the concept of trigger points. Alright? Trigger points. Sir, what do you mean by trigger points? These are the points wherein we make journal entries. Okay? Trigger points are the points, okay, wherein we make journal entries. Illustrate natin para mas madali. Now, para maintindihan mo yung Backflush costing class, tignan muna natin kung ano yung traditional journal entries. Okay? Under a traditional inventory system. Number one, pag bumili tayo ng goods, debit raw materials, credit accounts payable, these are journal entry upon purchase. Tama? So, review lang. Now, pag nilagay natin sa production, we debit WIP, and then marami tayo kung credit. Materials, salaries expense, depreciation, etc. So, gawin natin various accounts. Debit WIP, credit various accounts, ito yung entry natin upon production. Pag natapos na yung WIP na yan, magiging FG na siya. Debit FG, credit WIP. Okay, these are entry upon completion. Okay, upon completion. And then, pag binenta natin yung class, journal entry natin is debit cost of goods sold, credit FG, these are entry upon sale. Okay, so purchase, we have production, we have completion, and we have sale. Ito yung traditional na journal entries natin. Okay? Pwede mong sabihin class na meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4 trigger points under the traditional system. Okay? Pag saan mong Backflush costing, actually meron tayong 3 trigger points, 2 trigger points, and 1 trigger point. Okay? Illustrate natin. Ito yung Backflush ha. Sir, paano pag sabi natin 3 trigger points? Again, dapat mas simplify yung accounting natin. Mas shorten siya. Okay? Ibig sabihin class, si-simplify natin yan. Yung 3 trigger points, first entry natin, nakalagay ko dito, first entry, which is yung number na ilalagay ko corresponding dun sa number dito. Okay? So yung 1, yung equivalent niyan sa Backflush costing is debit MIP or materials and in process. You also call this RIP or raw materials and in process credit accounts payable. Okay? These are entry upon purchase. Ayun. Doon pa lang, iba na. So, under Backflush costing class, okay, pinagsasama na natin yung materials and WIP. Raw materials and WIP sa account na tinatawag natin na MIP or materials and in process. Or ibang tawag dyan is RIP or raw materials and in process. Gets? Okay. Yung second trigger point natin, so pag bumili tayo, mag-e-entry tayo. Okay? Yun yung first trigger point. Upon purchase, these are journal entry. Got it? Yung next trigger point natin under 3 trigger points is this one. Upon completion. Okay, lagay ko dito 3. Ibig sabihin ng 3, I'm referring to this. Okay? Debit finished goods. Credit MIP. Credit CC applied. Okay. Okay tayo sa FG, sa completion tama? So, ang i-credit natin is MIP. Alright? Instead of WIP, MIP i-credit natin. And take note class, yung isa pang credit is CC applied. Ano ba yung CC? Di ba yun yung direct labor and overhead? Naalala mo sa job order costing, meron tayong OH applied. Tama? So, ibig sabihin class, under backflush costing, meron tayong standard cost for DL and OH. Dati kasi yung standard cost natin for OH. For this one, pinagsama natin, CC applied. Gets? And then yung last trigger point under 3 trigger points is this one. Okay? Same entry na actually. Debit cost of goods sold, credit finished goods. Okay? Upon purchase, upon completion, and upon sale. Okay? Yan yung 3 trigger points natin. So, i-illustrate ko lang yung journal entries. Later, i-apply natin yan. Okay, dun tayo sa 2 trigger points. Medyo itataas ko dito, class. No? 2 trigger points. Because meron tayong 2 versions. Version 1, ng 2 trigger points. First entry natin is upon purchase. Journal entry number 1 is debit MIP, credit accounts payable. These are entry upon purchase. Okay? And yung journal or second trigger point natin is upon sale, debit cost of goods sold. Okay? Credit MIP, credit CC applied. Actually, pwede ko na palang tanggalin yung ito. So, basta sinabi kong 1, ibig sabihin, upon purchase. Tama? Pag sinabi kong 4, ibig sabihin, upon sale. Take note, class, na yung entry natin, upon sale, wala tayong credit FG. Kasi wala ka namang FG in the first place sa books mo. Tama? So, upon purchase, may entry ka. And upon sale, meron kang entry. Got it? Yung version 2 ng 2 trigger points, ito siya. Number 1 is yung third entry natin, or upon completion, debit FG. Okay? Credit accounts payable and credit CC applied. Okay? CC applied. So, debit FG upon completion. Ito yung version 2 So, wala kang entry upon purchase. Meron kang entry upon completion. Debit FG, credit accounts payable, credit CC applied. Take note, sa version 2, wala kang MIP or RIP account. And then, yung entry number, yung second entry natin is upon sale, debit cost of goods sold, credit FG. Okay, ulitin ko, under 2 trigger points, you have 2 versions. 1 and 4, or upon purchase and upon sale, or 3 and 4, upon completion and upon sale. And last one is the 1 trigger point, or we also call this the ultimate JIT. So 1 trigger point, mag-e-entry ka lang upon sale. Okay? Debit cost of goods sold, credit accounts payable, and credit CC applied. Ayan. So, yun yung entry mo sa 1 trigger point. Got it? So, class, ang technique, okay, sa backflush costing is dapat familiar ka sa journal entries, sa mga trigger points yan. Para mas madali mo maalala, take note na wala kang trigger point number 2. Napansin mo yan? 1, 3, 4, 1, 4, 3, 4, 4. Wala kang 2. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, class, pag 3 trigger points, alam mo na 1, 3, 4 yan. Okay? So, at least may guide ka. Uy, wala pala ako laging entry na WIP. Okay? So, 1, 3, 4, pag 3 trigger points. Pag 2 trigger points, is either 1, 4 or 3, 4. Okay? Pag 1 trigger point, pag lang nagbebenta, siya kami entry. Okay? Sige. Now, the end of the year, okay, December 31, like what we did sa job order costing, yung CC applied and CC control, pwedeng magkaiba yan. Tama? CC control kasi, upon incurrence, tama, of the cost, debit CC control, debit natin sa CC control. Tama? Yun yung actual cost natin. CC applied is the standard cost. End of the year, kino-close natin yung dalawa. So, debit CC applied, credit CC control, okay? Yung difference sila, class, let's say yung credit yung difference, mas mataas yung CC applied, is always charged to cost of goods sold. Always. Okay? 100% of the time. So, ibig sabihin, immaterial yung difference nila. Yun yung assumption for backflush costing. Kung maalala mo sa job order, depende yan, di ba? Pwede tayong Pag immaterial, cost of goods sold. Pag material, we allocate to FG, WIP, and cost of goods sold. Tama? Backflush costing, mas simplified siya, wherein the difference between CC applied and CC control, charge mo na sa cost of goods sold. Okay, sige. Para mas ma-appreciate nyo yan, let's apply that sa exercise natin. Let's go to problem number 1. Okay, problem number 1. Okay, let's take a look at the question. The amount of direct materials and conversion costs to be backflashed to finished goods are... Okay, Rona Manufacturing Company uses a materials and in process or MIP inventory. Ibig sabihin, pag yung pala nabasa mo, alam mo na JIT yan or backflash costing. At the end of each month, all inventories are counted, their conversion cost components are estimated, and inventory balances are adjusted accordingly. Raw materials is backflashed from MIP to finished goods. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? Raw materials is backflashed from MIP to finished goods. Okay? From there pa lang, alam natin na 3 trigger points yan. Kasi wala ka namang ibang entry na debit, FG, credit, MIP. Meron ba? Wala naman, di ba? Ito FG, AP yan. Ito lang, FG and MIP. So, ibig sabihin class, nakalagay dyan, raw materials is backflashed from MIP to finished goods. Ito yun. Got it? And the following data is for the month of Feb. Actually, kasi sa board exam, no, yung usual lang na tinatanong is 3 trigger points. Okay? Pero syempre, dapat familiar din kayo sa 2 and 1 trigger point. Got it? Okay, the following data is for the month of Feb. Beginning balance of MIP account, 338625. Conversion cost incurred, 42,000. Tandaan mo class, yung conversion cost incurred na yan, iyan yung actual conversion cost. So, iyan yung CC control natin. Iko-close natin yan later sa CC applied. Okay? Raw materials purchased. Okay? Conversion cost allocated or applied. As you notice, magkaiba yan. Sa incurred, 42,000. Yung allocated or applied natin is 46,375. Because pag sinabi mong allocated or applied, standard costing yung ginagamit dyan, hindi actual cost. Ending balance of MIP, 366,625. Okay, since first problem to, syempre mas extensive gawin natin discussion. Okay, actually 3 trigger points yan. Lagay natin ng journal entry para mas malinaw. Okay, debit MIP, MIP gamitin natin instead of RIP. Okay, debit MIP, credit accounts payable, yun yung upon purchase natin. Tama ba class? It's 33, yung beginning balance yan eh. It's the 5950,000. Right? 5950,000. That's our first entry. Second entry natin is under 3 trigger points is upon completion kasi 1, 3, and 4 yan. Debit FG, credit MIP, credit CC applied or CC allocated. Okay, so yung MIP nating class, tingnan natin. Actually, mas maganda dito is if gagamit ka ng T account dyan. Okay? Yan to gagawin ko dyan. So, I have a MIP T account. Meron akong beginning balance. In the problem is 338,625. Tama? Bumili tayo ng 5,950. So, debit yan. And then, ending balance natin, yung last line item, 366,625. Let's solve for X. Okay, 338,625. 338,625 plus 5,950,000 less 366,625. You get 5,922,000. 5,922,000. Iyon yung credit natin na MIP. Ito siya, oh. Ito yan, ha. Alright, so journal entry natin, 5,922,000. Dito siya. Credit MIP, 5,922,000. And then yung CC applied, yun yung conversion cost allocated. Nakita mo yung 46,375? 46,375. Okay. So add natin yung dalawa na yan, 5,922,000 plus 46,375. You get debit FG natin, 5,968. Okay, 5,968,375. Okay? So, 5,968. Nahisin natin para hindi kayo malito. So, 5,968,375. Okay, so that's your entry. And then, last entry natin, upon sale, debit cost of goods sold, credit finished goods, let's say nabenta lahat, 5,968,375. Okay. Let's answer the problem. The amount of direct materials and conversion cost to be backflashed. Ganito lang ibig sabihin ng class. The amount of raw materials to be backflashed. Ito siya. 5,922,000. And conversion cost to be backflashed. Yun ang ibig sabihin na. Okay? Iba-backflash mo daw to finished goods. Answer 5,922,000 and 46,375 letter A. Okay? Actually, sobrang dali niyan. Kahit T-account lang yung gawin mo, and alam mo na yung credit natin is CC applied, hindi CC control, well, masasagot mo siya. Actually, hindi mo kailangan ng journal entries. Pinakita ko lang, okay? Kung paano kapag may journal entries. Obviously, in the board exam, hindi naman tinatanong sa atin hindi man tayo pinapa-journalize doon. So, A yung sagot natin class for number 1. Sir, ano yung entry natin assuming 2 trigger points? O, tingnan natin. Papakita ko sa inyo. 2 trigger points, version, let's say, ito muna tayo, version 1, okay? Debit materials in process and credit accounts payable, so yun din siya, debit MIP. Credit accounts payable, 5,950,000. Okay? And then, upon sale, debit cost of goods sold, ito siya, 5,968, 375, and then credit MIP, credit CC applied. Okay, credit MIP 5922, credit 46,375. Okay, so as you notice class, sa 2 trigger points, again, wala tayong FG. Pero, regardless of the trigger points, 3 trigger points, 2 trigger points, 1 trigger point, same din dapat yung mga ending balances natin. Dapat hindi magbago yan. Nagbabago lang sa journal entries. Okay? Ngayon, pag yung version 2 yung ginamit natin, tingnan natin ha, version 2 ng 2 trigger points, well, upon completion, debit FG, credit, so FG natin is 5,968, 375, okay? Credit accounts payable natin, okay, and then credit CC applied. Yung accounts payable mo, ito muna yung record mo, 5,922, okay? Para mag-balance yung entry natin, 46,375, okay? And then, journal entry number 4, debit cost of goods sold, credit FG, 5,968, 375. Ngayon, pag nag-produce ka ulit, pag nag-FG ulit, may dagdag ulit yung accounts payable mo hanggat mag-equal siya dun sa 5,950,000. Okay? Now, pag 1 trigger point, entry natin is debit cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold natin is 5,968, 375. Credit accounts payable. Okay, accounts payable mo in this case is 5,922,000. Credit CC applied, 46,375. Okay, so ganyan siya. And then pag nagbenta ka ulit, record ulit ng cost of goods sold, accounts payable, and CC applied. So ganyan yung gagawin natin class. Anyway, pinakita ko lang, no? Pero actually, yung tinatanong na lagi sa board exam is the 3 trigger points. Remember that. Alright, so let's go to number 2. Number 2 tayo, class. Irwin Corporation manufactures electrical meters. Erase ko na to ha. I-retain lang natin yan kasi yung 3 trigger points yung important sa atin. Okay, for Feb, there were no beginning inventories of materials. The company uses a JIT system and backflush costing with 3 trigger points, so very explicit, for making entries to record their manufacturing process. The Feb standard cost per meter are direct materials 375, conversion cost 300. Okay, or total loan is 675. The following data pertains to Feb operations. Okay, materials purchased 2,062,500. Conversion cost incurred, ito yung actual cost, 1,650. Number of finished units, 5,250. And number of units sold, 5,000 units. Okay, what are the balances of MIP inventory and finished goods inventory account at the end of Feb? Okay, so papakita ko yung entry as well as T account. Pero sa board exam, T account na gagawin mo. Okay? Number 2, 3 trigger points daw. Tama? So number 1, debit MIP, credit accounts payable. Nakita mo dyan, class, yung materials purchased, 2,062,500. Okay. Number 2, upon completion, debit FG, credit MIP, credit CC applied. Tingnan natin. Doon muna tayo sa MIP. Okay, so lagay tayong T-account dito for MIP. Yung beginning balance natin, class, 0. No, nakalagay dyan, wala daw beginning balance. And purchase natin is 2,062,500. And then, ending balance, meron ba? Well, alam natin na yung per meter is 375. Tama? Nakalagay dyan sa middle portion. The Feb standard cost per meter are 375. And conversion cost 300. Nakalagay dyan, class, number of finished units, 5,250. Nakita mo yan? So, ibig sabihin, 5,250 times mo yung 375, 1,968,750, ito siya. Yung credit to MIP. 1,968,750. Does that make sense? So it means may credit tayo dito na 1,968,750. Let's compute the ending balance of MIP. 2,062,500 less 1,968,750, 93,750. Okay, yun yung ending balance. Alright. And then, kung kukumpletuhin natin yung journal entry, CC applied natin, take note class, sabi dyan, yung conversion cost is 300 per meter. Okay? 300 times yung natapos natin is 5,250, you get 1,575,000. So, 1,575,000. Add natin yung dalawa na yan, plus 1,968,750, you get 3,543,750. Okay, 3,543,750. And then, number 3, upon sale, actually it should be 3, and then upon sale, okay, fourth or the third trigger point, debit cost of goods sold, credit, FG. Pero take note class, magkaiba yung nabenta mo sa produce mo. 5,250 yung finished units, pero yung units sold is 5,000. Obviously, 5,000 lang yan. Huh? So, 5,000 times yung materials natin, 375, conversion cost is 300, so total is 675. 5,000 times 675, you get 33,75,000. 33,75,000. Ano ba yung tanong sa atin? What are the balance of MIP inventory? Well, 93,750 yung MIP. And then yung finished goods natin. Finished goods, obviously 0 yung start. Okay? And then meron tayong 3,543,750. Yung binenta natin is only 33,75,000. 33,75,000. So let's compute for the ending balance. 3,543,750 minus 33,75,000, you get 168,750. Ending balance, 168,750. Yun. Letter C. Letter C is the final answer. Ang ganyan ang class. Sige, let's go to number 3. Okay, number 3 tayo. Question number 3. Erase na natin. Okay. And then, ito hindi ko erase para meron tayong format ng entry, no? Para makapag-refer tayo dyan. Sa number 3 class, huwag na tayo mag-journalize. So, diretso T-account tayo para ganito yung gagawin nyo sa board exam, na? T-account lang kapag backflush costing. So yeah, we have 3 questions. What is the amount of conversion cost included in cost of goods sold in June? What is the amount of direct materials backflush from RIP to finished goods? What is the amount of direct materials backflush from finished goods to cost of goods sold? Okay, Rio Company has a cycle of 3 days, uses a raw and in-process account or RIP or MIP, and charges all conversion costs to cost of goods sold. At the end of each month, all inventories are counted. Conversion cost components are estimated, and inventory account balances are adjusted. Raw materials is backflushed from RIP account to finished goods, and the following information is provided for the month of June. Okay, class, kung titignan mo yung questions, nakalagay amount of conversion cost, amount of direct materials, tama? Now, nakalagay dyan, beginning balance of RIP account including 1,000 conversion cost. So, tama ba class, yung RIP beginning natin? Okay, yung RIP beginning na 5,000, okay, meron dyang materials and conversion cost. Kasi class, di ba yung RIP natin, okay, or MIP, pinagsama na materials yan and WIP eh. Tama? Kaya siya tinawag na RIP, okay? May component daw yan na materials na 4,000, conversion cost niyan is 1,000. So, nilagay ko lang. So, sineparate lang natin yan. Beginning balance of finished goods, okay, FG beginning, account including 6,000 conversion cost. So, materials and conversion cost, kung 10,000 yung total, 4,000 yung materials, 6,000 yung conversion cost. Tama lang? Now, ito yung mga other variations ng tanong sa backflush, no? Pero T-account ang gagawin natin dyan. Raw materials received on credit, or basically yung binili natin, direct labor cost and overhead applied. Add nga natin yung class kasi CC applied tayo, di ba? 300 plus 500, lagay mo dyan, 800,000. Okay, that's your CC. Okay, ending RIP inventory including 7,000 conversion cost. So, RIP ulit, RIP end, okay? RIP end. Meron dyan materials and conversion cost, ihiwalay natin. So, sabi dyan class, 7,000 yung conversion cost. Therefore, yung materials natin is 13, 7,000 yung conversion cost. And then yung last one natin, FG end, yung last na line item dyan class, Ihiwalay din natin. Materials and conversion cost. 4,000 yung conversion cost, tama? Ibig sabihin, 2,000 yung materials since yung total natin is 6,000. Okay, so ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. What is the amount of conversion cost included in cost of goods sold? What amount of direct materials? 4 na T accounts gagawin ko dyan. Okay? Ito yung RIP. Okay? Na materials component. Or CC muna. RIP CC. And then, yung materials natin na... Okay, so, ang gagawin ko dito, erase natin. Okay, so T account yung gagawin natin, class, dito. Una nating class is T accounts for RIP. Hiwalay natin. RIP sa CC, and then RIP na materials. Okay? FG na CC. Okay, and then last one is FG materials. Okay, dito muna tayo. RIP conversion cost natin beginning, 1,000. Lalagay ko siya dito. And then, yung mag-i-increase siya ng, tama ba, yung conversion cost natin sa problem is 800,000. Tama? So, lalagay mo siya dito. Kasi conversion cost yung sinosolve natin. And then, ending natin, RIP end na CC is 7,000. Dito siya. Let's solve for X. X natin is, compute natin. So, 1,000 plus 800,000 minus 7,000. That is 794,000. 794,000. Okay. Since materials yan, mapupunta yan ng finished goods mo. Tama? CC. Now, finished goods beginning, meron tayong CC na 6,000. Ito siya. Okay. And then, meron tayong 794. Meron tayong FG end na CC na 4,000. Okay. Let's solve for X. X is, let's compute 6,000 plus 794,000 less 4,000, you get 796,000. Kaya answer natin, class, sa question number 1, ano sabi dyan? What is the amount of conversion cost included in cost of goods sold? Tama pa nag-credit ka, it's cost of goods sold. And hiniwalay natin, kinuha natin yung conversion cost. Credit to FG is the cost of goods sold. That's why answer mo is 796,000. Letter B or boy. Okay, let's go to what is the amount of direct materials backflush from RIP to finished goods? I-move natin ako to. I-move natin to. Para mas clear yung solution natin. So, RIP, materials. Okay, let's see, Beginning balance ng materials natin is 4,000. So, lagay natin here. 4,000. And then, ending balance yung class is 13,000. Tama? And then, bumili tayo ng materials. Tama ba yung third line item? Raw materials received on credit, 400,000. Dito siya. And then, let's solve for X. X natin, iyan yung credit natin na materials. 4,000 plus 400,000 minus 13,000, you get 391,000. 391,000. Now, post natin yan sa FG natin. FG, beginning na materials, 4,000. FG ending na materials is 2,000. And then, yung na-credit natin sa materials, pupunta ng finished goods yan, 391. Let's solve for X. 4,000 plus 391,000 minus 2,000, you get 393,000. X natin is 393,000. That's why, class, answer sa question number 2, what is the amount of direct materials backflush from RIP to finished goods? 391,000, letter A. Question number 3, what is the amount of direct materials backflush from finished goods to cost of goods sold? Yun yung credit sa finished goods mo. Tama? Answer is letter C, 393,000. So question 1 is boy, 796. Question 2 is A, 391. And question 3 is C, 393,000. Alright. So yun na siya. Let's go to the theory questions. 3 theory questions na tayo dito. Okay. Number 1, JIT inventory systems. A. Results in a greater number of suppliers for each production. B. Focus on the push type of production system. C. Can only be used with automated production processes. Or D. Results in inventories being either greatly reduced or eliminated. Yun yung sagot natin, dog. Because in JIT, po-produce lang tayo whenever may order. Okay? Pag lang may demand from customer. For number 1, it's dog. It is a product costing system generally used in JIT. This costing system delays the costing process until the production of goods is completed by eliminating the detailed tracking of costs throughout the production system and preparing journal entries only at trigger points. Letter A, backflash costing. Okay. In backflash costing, if the conversion cost in the raw materials in process was 500 in July and 1,000 on July 31, the account to be credited at the end of July for 500 increase would be, so familiarity lang with the journal entries. So yung tumaas daw yung RIP natin, tama? O parang dito. So mag-refer tayo sa problem 1 natin. Di ba tumaas yan? From 338, naging 366. Tama? Parang dito sa number 3, from 500, naging 1,000. So ano ba yung entry natin? So pag titignan mo yung entry natin, debit FG, credit MIP, credit CC applied. So ang tanong dyan, class, the account to be credited, yung i-credit natin, MIP and CC applied. Nasaan sa choices yan? Well, walang CC applied sa choices. Therefore, answer natin is A, raw and in process, or materials and in process. Letter A for number 3. Okay? So class, take note na yung technique again in backflash costing is dapat alam mo muna na ito yung traditional entries. Okay? And then, familiarity sa 3 trigger points, 2 trigger points, and 1 trigger point. Yung magiging guide mo dyan, wala kang yung second na yan na journal entry. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, 3 trigger points, 1, 3, 4. 2 trigger points, 1, 3, and 3, 4. Okay? 1 trigger point is this one. Yun yung technique natin dyan. Alright, and then use T accounts sa mga problems. Hindi mo kailangan i-journalize. And yung usually, ang tanong lang sa'yo dyan is 3 trigger points. Yung 2 and 1, usually tinatanong yan kapag theory questions lang. Okay? O sige class. That's the end of our discussion for JIT and backflash. Actually, yun na rin yung end na discussion natin for cost accounting.